Wesley Drake is a seventh-generation family farmer in Newsoms in Southampton County, Virginia. While he raises 1,400 acres of row crops with his father and mother, along with a few head of cattle, his pride and joy is the farm's peanut crop. He said it was obvious they had a problem once the peanut picking began.
When the harvest machinery comes through, it's all mechanical and it's kind of rough. And we tried to make it just as easy as we could, but when especially the combine would come through and pick that plant up and run it through the machine, we were finding that a lot of peanuts were falling off, and they would stay on the vine and they'd get right to the head, right when they were almost in the machine, and they'd fall off on the ground. And at that point, we can make adjustments to make that just as easy a ride up as we can make it. But we figured that we lost anywhere between 500 and 700 pounds of peanuts on the ground right at the combine, and that's real heartbreaking, because you're picking and you're looking at all your profit pretty much falling off the plants and going back onto the ground.
Drake was only able to harvest about 30% of his acres before moisture from Hurricane Joaquin moved in. It rained for days at the end of September and into early October, and they were kept out of their fields for at least 2 weeks.
Even before that major rain event moved in the first time at the end of September, we stayed out in the field until 2:30 in the morning, and we worked right up until it started pouring down rain. And just a lot of people went to bed that night thinking that, when they wake up, it's going to be just raining in the morning or this, that, and the other. But meanwhile, all the farmers, not just us, it was all my neighbors too, they're out there in the field getting every single pound or bushel or whatever they were harvesting, trying to get it in before the rain came.
Drake was not alone. Some parts of southeast Virginia registered inch after inch of rainfall in the beginning of October. The 2015 cotton harvest in Virginia was down 35% lower than the previous year, and the peanut crop was 13% lower. Sadly, this came a year after a record cotton crop and a good peanut year. But Drake is already preparing for next year's crop. He plans to plant about the same number of acres in peanuts as last year. While the fields are bare soil, samples have been taken. They're ready to put down lime, and they'll be ready to go when spring arrives.
People say, how do you stay optimistic through those? How can you look at corn that's $3.50 and be optimistic about that? And I say, well, maybe this year I'm going to have a big crop of corn, to make that $3.50 add up to a whole lot more than it usually does. So, a farmer has to be optimistic. He can't approach a year expecting a low yield at a low price and somehow be able to sleep at night. And you just got to do all that you can do, and keep your brain about you, study up, and make the right decisions when they need to be made. And the rest is in the good Lord's hands as to how it turns out.
Drake's plan is to raise cotton, corn, soybeans, and wheat in 2016, and he's planning to show off some of the finest peanuts in southeast Virginia. In Southampton County, Virginia, this is Dave Miller.